In the late evening hours of March 24, 2023 at 7:57 p.m. Central Daylight Time, a large wedge tornado would touch down to the southwest of the small town of Rolling Fork, Mississippi. Population of roughly 1,500. The tornado had peak winds of up to 195 miles per hour, giving it a high-end EF4 rating. Today we will be analyzing a timeline of events, the dangerous conditions that day, the damage caused by the tornado, and how the town of Rolling Fork is doing today. But first, we need a little bit of background information. Earlier that day, the Storm Prediction Center had issued a level 4 out of 5 moderate risk for areas in western and northwestern Mississippi, eastern and southeastern Arkansas, and northern and northeastern Louisiana. For reference, Rolling Fork is just east of where Mississippi, Louisiana, and Arkansas meet. Accompanying the moderate risk, the SPC had also issued a 15% hatch tornado risk for strong to violent tornadoes of EF3 plus strength possible. Rolling Fork was smack dab in the middle of the 15% hatch tornado risk. Taking a look at the tornado's path, it touched down near Turner and Grant Road to the southwest of Rolling Fork and also to the west-southwest of Egremont, if I'm saying that correctly. Hopefully I am. And it continued to track northeast. And it started to enter the city limits near Weathers Cemetery, ending Bar Road. It tracked right through the city of Rolling Fork in the city center. It continued for miles and miles. It also hit Silver City, notably. That was the other city impacted by this tornado. So you can see that whole tornado path. The path was 59.2 miles. So that is a long track tornado. Long track violent tornado. It had 17 fatalities and 165 injuries with a width of the path of 1,320 yards. Look at the damage specifically in the Rolling Fork area. You can see when it enters the southwest side of town, it does some EF2, where you see the yellow triangle damage, and then begins to inflict some EF3 and even sparse EF4 damage before moving on, doing some EF0 and 1 damage south and more EF2 damage on Bear Lake Road. Then it continues to do EF3 damage as it enters more populated areas of the city, EF2, EF1 damage. And then as it enters the city center near West and East Race Road, that's where it starts to do major EF4 damage. And as it moves north into the city, it continues near Walnut Street to do heavy EF4 damage continuously and still surrounding it, EF3, EF2, EF1 damage, far outside of the tornado. And it continued to do EF3, EF4, and EF2 damage outside of the city near Highway 61 as it exited. In terms of how Rolling Fork is doing today, taking a look at the population, we can see that as of last year, it was at 1,509 people living there. And sadly, it appears it has been on a downtrend since the 1990s, 2,444, and it has been going down about 50 to 100 each year, it seems, with a few spikes in 2000 and 2010. And I believe this data was from just after the tornado, where you can see in 2022 it was 1,702, and after the tornado it dropped nearly 200 people. So sadly, Rolling Fork has a declining population. Satellite imagery from Google Earth Pro of Rolling Fork, we can see that if we go back to before the tornado, which would be the most recent image before it, is November 15th, 2019. You can see a lot of trees in the city, a lot of buildings. And if we go to the next image, which is about 6 or 7 months after the tornado, on October 6th, 2023, we can see a lot of those trees over there are gone, where we saw the path. So a lot of these buildings are empty lots now. You can see foundations. You can see a lot of these new tree growth. Looks like some sort of parking lot was here. I believe that was the water tower that withstood the tornado, if I'm not mistaken. And the damage just continues on this path. Looks like possibly some new homes where we could see some foundations were gone. It continued to track way north. Looks like we had some farms up here that were also impacted by the tornado. So that's taking a look at the damage path. Alright, I would like to thank you all so much for watching this pretty basic analysis of the Rolling Fork tornado. Hopefully someday I can make something more in-depth, but I just used the information I could find, and sadly there wasn't the most footage of this, and I didn't feel like taking Chaser's footage as it belongs to them. But once again, thank you all so much for watching the video. If you enjoyed, please help me out by subscribing to the channel and liking the video. It spreads the message when we go live for severe weather coverage. And yeah, if you have any questions, I will be happy to answer them in the comments. Thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you all in the next one.